Hey everybody, Christian here with Android Unite, back again with another video review for you guys. This time it is courtesy of RAVPOWER, and it is their 14,000 milliamp hour car battery jump starter. Now I've added this to my arsenal of safety items that I keep in the trunk of my 2002 Acura MDX. Tools such as a wrench set, an air compressor, and one of the things that I keep at home is actually this little battery recharger that you plug into the wall outlet, and essentially if you've got a dead battery or one that's close to dead, this thing will recharge it. Quick charges as quickly as in an hour, similar to how you would take your battery to AutoZone. They'd put it on the charger for an hour and tell you if it's good or not, and if it's good then it'll recharge, and if it's not then you got to buy a new one. Well, I've got one of those things from my house, but I've wanted to add something to my arsenal that would help me while I'm out and about, taking a road trip, taking a camping trip, visiting my parents out of town. And so I'm going to introduce you to the brand new addition, this RAVPOWER car battery jumper. So the packaging itself is fairly familiar if you've seen any of the other RAVPOWER products that I've unboxed and reviewed here on this channel. It's their standard gray, green, and white color scheme. They like to put icons on it to keep it nice and modern. It does have onboard iSmart technology, so it'll definitely charge up any device that you plug into the USB ports as soon as possible. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to stop the video there to get the model number. Opening the box up, you're greeted with this little strap that helps you pull it out of the box. Nothing else really in the box left. And this little case is extremely reminiscent of the old school CD cases that you used to keep in your car. It's made out of the exact same material. It's not too big, and you can definitely tuck it away in a trunk, or I've got a little compartment in my SUV that I'm going to definitely keep it in. Opening it up, you're greeted with a quick start guide, which I highly recommend that you read thoroughly through. It gives you indications on what the lights mean, when it's safe to plug and unplug, and you also get a certificate of authenticity, or of quality rather, and as well as a thank you note. Inside you have quite a few little adapters that you'll want to keep track of, the first of which is a DC wall plug, just your standard wall plug if you needed to replace it. It's probably easily purchased at a local Radio Shack. And the output is a 15 volt 1 amp, and so there's a model number if you guys need it, if you end up losing it in the future. Just keep track of it. There's little pockets in there that you can just stuff them in, so it'll be really easy to keep track of. You also get a cigarette lighter charger. So not many of these products end up coming with a cigarette lighter charger, and if your own battery is dead, you're obviously not going to charge it off of that. But if you've got a friend with you or another vehicle that you can bum off of, you can definitely stick that in and charge up the device itself. So setting those aside, let's go straight for the cables themselves. You can see here that they're not extremely long, but they definitely don't feel cheap. They come with this little voltage regulator, power regulator, I'm not sure what to call them, but actually written on there are the little cheat sheet for what the blinking lights mean, and you'll see here in a second that there is an LED light right next to the reset button that will essentially communicate what is going on with the device itself. It does come with a little port that's easy to connect. It can only go in one way, so there's definitely no mistakes that can be made there. Obviously red is for positive and black is for negative. And the cable, like I said, is not extremely long. I would say that from the point of connection right there to the top, it's about a foot long. And the alligator clips themselves, I'm not really sure if that's what they're called, but the clips themselves are pretty rigid. They've got quite a bit of resistance. They don't feel cheap at all, but they are coated with some sort of rubber, I guess, cover. They're not fully metal, but they're definitely not cheap. Like I said, looking at the top of them, they don't misalign at all. They come down perfectly, and so that's a sign of good quality in my mind. Offer quite a bit of resistance trying to open them up, so no fear of them breaking anytime soon. Moving on, they do include 2 USB to micro USB cables for your accessories such as your cell phone, and so you'll see here in the unit itself, it's got 2 USB ports which again, going back to the iSmart technology that comes on board, you would be able to take advantage of that. And they give you two of the cables. One of them is clearly longer than the other, but always nice to have, nice to include, especially when they give you little places to add those in. Taking the unit out itself, it is a chunk, man. It is definitely a brick in the hand. It's coated with this nice rubberized texture. Definitely very solid, and on the sides it's got these hardcore grips, these slanted grips. So it's definitely not going to fall out of your hand or anything like that. Intended for sure to go on the ground if need be. The connector side, there you can see a power button on the left, two USB ports, an input for charging, and then an on and off button on the far right. Now there is a little flap here that when opened up reveals the connector that the cables plug into. And so again, those only go in one certain way, so it's not going to be hard to put that in. It's very easy to use. And so turning the unit on itself, you'll be able to see here that it came from the factory topped off, or what I assume was topped off. Now it sat on my dining room table for at least 4 or 5 days before I was able to get to the review itself. But there it showed that the output was 5 volts at 2.1 amps, so roughly 10 watts of power available to you, primarily through the USB chargers there. And so anyway, it comes with an onboard flashlight that you can activate by pressing and holding the power button, and it is extremely blinding. It is really bright, and if you press and hold again, it automatically cycles into the SOS signal. Now, if you're ever broken down and I pass by you and you're doing this SOS signal at me, I'm just going to keep driving because I don't know what the heck you're trying to tell me. It's very inconsistent. I don't know how to read that, and chances are nobody else does either. So best feature that should have never been, I guess, whatever you want to call it. If you do press and hold again, though, you'll get this consistent blinking light, which I can see as being helpful if you ended up putting it, on the top of your car and flashing, the oncoming traffic to let them know that you're broken down. Definitely a good feature to have. The back of the unit itself is pretty straightforward. It just, says RAVPOWER Portable Car Jump Starter. Gives you the model number there, RPPB048 for those of you who want to look it up on Amazon. Battery capacity of 14,100 milliamp hours. And it says that the starting current is 280 amps. And that the peak current is 550 amps. Now, those numbers are intense. I don't know that the gauge wire that they include would even be able to handle something like that. So something tells me that I don't know. I'm not really sure how they're doing their measurements there. So anyway, let's before I lose you guys, let's move on to the actual test. Now, I'm going to be performing it on my Mazda 6 that is broken down in my driveway, and the battery's dead, and you guys are going to see me jump start it. So without further ado, let's get into that, baby. Alright, so I'm going to provide multiple camera angles here just so you guys can get the full picture, but here's the inside of my car. Here's the camera I'm using to record. Pointed straight at it. And I'm going to go ahead and try to turn over the engine and show you guys that this car will not start. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so key, ignition. Alright. Key. Oh, actually, I also wanted to show you guys, I got this little voltage meter. It shows 8.6 volts on the battery. Uses a cigarette charger to make that reading. So, if I try to turn it, there you go. So, I'm going to put the key right here. And we're gonna go connect the jump starter. So a few things to note. After doing a little bit of research online, actually plenty of research, like I said, this video is a long time in the making. You don't want to store these in your vehicle at 100% if you want them to last for quite a bit of time. So I would highly suggest keeping them around, I would say 70 to 75% charged, no more than 80%. That way it'll last you a good, 5 to 10 years. It is lithium-ion batteries inside of here, so take proper care of it and it'll last for quite a bit of time. From the factory though, it came at nearly 100%. I think it said 99 or 100. Now it's down to 98 for some reason, probably because I was messing with the flashlight there. But I'm going to now use this camera to record the rest. So I'm going to set this down for a second. Alright, so first thing you want to do, turn it off. Take your cables, your connector, open up the flap. Like I said before, there's only one way these can go in. So insert them in appropriately. Make sure they're pushed all the way in, at which point the red light should turn on. You will want to turn the device to on. Now it's not live, clearly it's still on the red LED. But at this point, find a good place for it. Also, that soft touch is kind of grippy, so make sure it's on a solid surface. So positive is red, which is right here. Negative is black. Then turn this slightly. So you'll see that the light turned green. If it starts blinking green and does not stay green, then that means that something went wrong. Take it off, turn it back on, put them back on, and it should stay green. So after it turns green, we now have exactly 60 seconds before the auto shut-off takes on, or it takes those things offline. So get the key really quick. And there you guys go. Jumped up to 11.9, 12.4. See, now the alternator is starting to kick in and recharging the battery. I'm gonna have to drive this for a little bit for that to fully take charge. If that doesn't happen, I'll have to use my battery charger, the big clunky one that I showed you, in order to get the job done and battery back up to 100%. But this is a quick demonstration of how to jump start your car with the RAVPOWER 14,000 milliamp hour jump starter. Like I said, this is one of the few videos you'll see on this channel that does not involve Android, but that I take very seriously. And you can see, shut off. Let me see. Oh, it's not even hot. It's already auto shut off, as you can see there. So, really cool tool to keep in your car trunk. I'm going to keep this in my Acura MDX along with my other tools. So, yeah, this is really cool. I really like it. Clearly it worked. See what the battery percentage is at. 97%. Very cool. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure and give it a like. Definitely subscribe. We've got plenty of other videos I've been filming all day. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.